On the first day, while me and my father photographed the Northern Lights, we met this Frenchman named Charles. He was pretty excited to finally be able to photograph the auroras, given that he had suffered through a week of heavy rain and wind. And as for me, waking up the next day, it became abundantly clear that the conditions we had the previous night were pretty rare.
So last night was incredible. There were perfect auroras and we were so lucky with the light. And today the weather is a bit different. But nevertheless, we're here in Lofoten and we're gonna make the best of it.
Little did I know, however, that I wouldn't see the sun again for 6 days straight. And now, looking back on it and the images I got during those days, it doesn't really bother me at all. I thrive in bad weather, and some of my favorite images are taken in what many refer to as really bad conditions, or Saturday weather, as 𝐔𝐿 aptly puts it. Besides, Lofoten looks stunning when surrounded by a cloak of darkness with pointy peaks greeting a gloomy sky. While the weather in Lofoten might be hard to predict, one can safely say that it's diverse and interesting. And one more thing, after a week in the rain, you really appreciate the sun when it finally breaks through. But that's another story for another week.
We were driving along the road and we saw this beautiful little boathouse right next to a sandy beach. And naturally we had to stop the car and get out and photograph it.
And naturally the sound is missing from the footage of me talking about this composition I chose at this very location. However, I'll try to replicate it now. Wanting to keep my composition as clean as possible, I figured I'd include the sky, the ocean, and a fraction of the red boathouse. Exclude everything else, as to emphasize the emptiness I felt. The rooftop clipping the horizon line is a conscious choice, as I feel it helps connect the sky and the ocean. This image is also a stitched 4-image panorama, carefully timing the waves to the best of my ability. After drying up both ourselves and our camera gear, we drove towards the rocky shores of Egham. We had heard good things about this stony beach and was really looking forward to explore it properly. The wind and rain, however, reached their peak right about when we arrived, and after 30 minutes in the rain looking for a composition, I still couldn't find any, and I decided to head back to the car empty-handed. That's when I first noticed the neighboring mountain just behind the car. How I missed this mountain in the beginning I do not know, but I quickly grabbed a handheld image using the stream in the foreground as a leading line, promising to return when conditions improved. Sadly, that never happened, but I'm quite pleased with how this image turned out, regardless.
It's a brand new day and today the weather is much better, thankfully. So we're gonna drive to a few of the spots we saw yesterday when it was pouring down, and we got to photograph those spots. And afterwards take a short trip to Kvalvika Beach. You have to walk for a good hour from the road over a hill, and you get to a nice little secluded beach. So that's our plan for today. So the first stop we're gonna make is a place really close to where we live, a place called Sakrisøy. And this island was first brought to my attention by the Danish photographer Mats-Petter Iversen. I watched his Lofoten series, and he took a beautiful image of a small yellow hut. I tried a few images now with two lenses. One is the 12 to 60 millimeter, and the other one is the 100 to 300 millimeter. And neither of them kind of gives me what I want. I want to get close to the hut, and I want to keep the camera in portrait mode. Because I want the height of the mountain behind it. But I also want it wide, so I opted for a panorama. I'm doing a lot of panoramas lately, but so be it. I really like this format. So what I'm doing is that I've leveled up my tripod, and I'm starting my panorama, just getting the tip of the house, and I'm going all the way over there, approximately 45 millimeters in. So that is the plan. Look at him go amongst the fish. What do you think? Did he get any fish images? He's been wanting those for days. So, how did it go?
Fant jeg kråkeboller. I found something interesting. And a lot of fish heads, of course. And the smell it's Lofoten.
Another composition I spotted yesterday was this one from this bridge, 𝐔𝐿𝐴𝐵𝐵, which is roughly translated Deep Fjord Bridge. So I'm gonna set up here for, you guessed it, another panorama. The rain is coming, but no matter, it can't be as bad as yesterday. We were thinking about going to the Kvalvika Beach trail, but there is so much rain right now, so we decided to have a quick stop at Nusfjord. And on our way there, we spotted this beautiful icy mountain behind me. And if you can see here on the lake itself, some beautiful cracked ice there. And I thought this is a beautiful place for a panorama, especially with that white cross in the middle of the mountain side there. So this is maybe my favorite image from this trip, I think, if this works, and that includes the northern lights. So I have high hopes for this image. I leveled my tripod in the snow here, and I'm starting my panorama from there all the way over there, including the bits of the broken ice. I think the best from the trip so far. Right behind me now is the fishing hamlet Nusfjord. So we drove down to this place to see if we could find a small cafe or something to grab ourselves a cup of coffee while we wait for the rain to retreat. And after that we're gonna head to Kvalvika, I think. Well, we have waited for as long as we can wait, hoping the rain will stop, but so far it hasn't stopped. We have approximately 2 hours left of the daylight for today, so if you're gonna take the trip to Kvalvika, we need to do it now. So that's what we're gonna do. On a positive note, given that it's pouring down and lousy weather, all the other photographers are staying inside in a warm, cozy place. So we're probably gonna get this trail to ourselves. We're constantly debating whether there is too much snow to take this trail right now. But as we mentioned before, we met this French guy, Charles. He said he'd done it, so he better not be lying to us, because we're basing it all on the French person's advice. Are you ready? This is more like it. On our own, away from all the photographers. Look at these mountains. And behind there, our destination. I cannot wait. Oh wow, me like. Down there's Kvalvika Beach. This is raw. And it has stopped raining. I am completely and utterly lost for words. This is incredible. This is fantastic. It's like you've been driving for 2 days, standing next to other photographers, and then you go for a short hike up in the mountains, and you get rewarded with this incredible scenery. I'm alive. This is my spot. I'm gonna set up here and I'm gonna photograph this beautiful piece of nature. Alright, here's the plan. I don't have a wide angle lens because I sold it. I'm sometimes short-sighted, I guess. So I'm going to go for panorama yet again. I'm hoping that the ocean won't cause too many problems when I blend them together. Panorama from this side all the way over to that side. So I level up my tripod. The minute I take off the lens cap, it's going to be filled with water, and that's just so be it. That's what you get when you photograph in rain. All right, this has been totally worth the hike. That was one of the most difficult panoramas I've ever done. Right after I finished talking with you, there came this really strong gale just pushing in, and along with the gale came this heavy rain as well. So I'm crossing my fingers that worked well, but to be honest, I'm not sure. It's beautiful nonetheless. All right. I'm gonna end it here. Thank you so much for watching this film. If you liked it, please consider subscribing to my channel, as more adventures from Lofoten are coming up. I'm gonna stay a couple more days up here, so this is gonna be great. Alright, thanks again. Ta vare på hverandre, så ses vi i neste korsvei. Alright, take care.